Hi, it's Michelle Vasquez with another tip for you. This time I'd like to talk with you about a problem that some people may have in their relationships, and I have to confess that when I was first learning about psychology and going to school, to graduate school, to get my degree in counseling psychology, I did this very thing that I've been asked about recently. A man wrote me a question recently, and he said that his wife got her bachelor's degree in psychology and that she likes to read a lot of self-help books, and all of that is fine. That doesn't bother him. The problem that he has with is that every time they get into arguments, she has a tendency to start diagnosing him and telling him, you're behaving this way because of X, Y, and Z. I read in this book that you do this because. Well, she's a banker. She works at a bank. She's not a psychologist. She doesn't have an advanced degree to diagnose him. And he says it's driving him nuts. So he's wondering what he can do to stop this kind of behavior. Well, I have some personal experience being that obnoxious with my ex-husband when I was learning about therapy, and I do apologize to him. I think that I've probably apologized to him numerous times, and fortunately he and I are pretty good friends still. Even through my widowhood and remarriage, we've remained good friends, which is really not so usual. But anyway, so how can this man stop his wife from psychoanalyzing him? The first thing is awareness. He's not going to be able to get her to do anything that she's not willing to do herself, but I would say the first thing would be, when they're not arguing, for him to just sit down with her and say, honey, there's something that's been really bothering me about the way that we argue. I kind of feel like you put me under the microscope, and it's great that you read all these books, and it's great that you know a lot about psychology, but it feels uncomfortable to me, and sometimes it creates more of a problem for me when you start telling me that I'm this or that diagnosis, or I have this particular problem, and I would really like to do something different. Now, granted, it may mean that the two of them need to go to therapy so that they can have a neutral third party to talk to them. They may not even need therapy, they may need some relationship coaching. But granted, this is something that's tough, and if he can learn some skills himself, maybe by picking up the very same books that she's been reading. In fact, it might be helpful when they're not arguing if he were to say to her, I would like to learn some ways for us to communicate better, especially when we're arguing, so that we can resolve conflict. Is there anything in one of those books that I can read? I bet you she would be tickled pink to hear him say that, and she'd probably be able to give him a reference. That way, he's kind of joining her side in a way. He's not making her feel defensive, but he's telling her, I'm feeling defensive, and I'd like to do something about it so that we can have a better relationship. That's how I'd answer that question. So, if you are interested, you hop on over to my website. It's at trueloverelationshipcoaching.com. I have a free report for couples there. Also, if you go to trueloverelationshipcoach.com/10tips.html, you can get my 10 tips or 10 secrets for creating a happy marriage. And I would love to see you write some comments below, and I look forward to giving you a new tip pretty soon.